Hey, it's Sunday, and I'm late making a video, but this is something that just recently happened. You guys are in the news. You know about the hurricane, right, in Florida. And storm season's coming. And some of you go, oh, there's going to be a lot of money and stuff. And this goes for the guy that has a dump truck or end um, dump trailer, you're in a tree service, or you're a stump grinder, anybody in a like demolition type, cleanup type industry. There's a few things you need to know, or you're new to it. The guys that have been in a long time already know all this crap. So I'm going to shoot to you, Molly. I'm going to put it to you from the tree and the stump grinder end. But it applies to all of you. Okay. I've been in the business 30 years and I don't storm chase anymore. I may go to something that's an hour and a half, 2 hours away. That's to where I could drive and come home in the evening, and that it's not really a wipeout storm, might be an ice storm, something like that for me. Okay. But these are some basic facts for all storms. All right. You need to know this. All right. First thing is you're going out to a storm, like say Florida. You gotta pretend you're on your own island. You gotta bring your own food, somewhere to stay, which a lot of guys use campers, travel trailers, or whatever. And that one guy can't do that. You gotta have like a little support team, right? I know a tree company I left here. They brought their own stuff so they could stay. Also, you got to bring your own food, housing basically. And then another thing is you need to bring your own tools. You need to know how far it is to a parts store that's still open. All right. You need to bring your own fuel. You need to make sure if you're running chainsaws or anything that's two-stroke, you got to make sure you bring that, your own bar oil. Can't just bring a little bit. It's all just get it when we get there. Like Florida, a lot of places are wiped out. You can't get jack. Okay. You got to bring your own water. It's like I said, you're on your own island. That's just the way to think. How am I going to survive? If you go in there a week, 2 weeks, something like that, or a month, most guys can only handle it for 2 weeks at a time. It's miserable. When there's nothing open and everything's shot, all the people around you in a storm area, they're thanking you for being there in a way, but they're miserable and you're going to be miserable too after a while. You're working long island hours. You're trying to push it. And another thing too, you get tired, right? So that's one thing, right? In extremes of the temperature, you might be hot like in Florida. You might be up somewhere north when it happens and freezing your rear end off. All right. So that's one thing. And you need to know the area too. And you need to know as you're traveling to that storm, when you start seeing the conditions worsen, make a log to where okay, part stores are still open here. Go along with the map and circle, because that's where you're going to have to go back. You're not going to call Amazon and say, hey, I need you to send me 16 more chains or whatever. Amazon ain't going to be running in that area. Okay. All right. So another thing is too, and I hate to say this, but I've been sent to some areas before, and they're poorer areas. All right. A lot of people, smaller homes, a small town or community. Really, people just, they were barely making it before the storm hit. So a lot of people didn't even have insurance. So they didn't have big money to spend around. Now, if you go to an area that's middle class or upper middle class to the richer people, they won't even wait around for insurance companies. I mean, we had a big ice storm here in 2007. I couldn't get my stump grinders out. So I was putting together tree crews of firemen, and people were just paying, and they would call the insurance guy. Yeah, we'll cover it, whatever. We were just doing elevation. We're cleaning off driveways so people could just get out, cleaning off streets, and people would pay for their neighborhood street to be clean. The rich people, not the regular person. Okay. Another thing, once you get there, you got to find someone to sub under a lot of times, and you better make sure that it's an honest company. You're going to get there, you're going to be desperate for work and stuff, but you got to be aware that there are some unsavory characters out there. I think we remember Katrina hit, and then there was another one that hit a hurricane that hit Houston afterwards. Well, a lot of guys went down there, and the contracts were given out by the Army Corps of Engineers. And you can research this back. 2020 did a big story about it. So guys would go down there for a week with dump trailers or end dumps and excavators and skid steers and all, work a whole week and be waiting to get their pay or whatever. Well, the Army Corps of Engineers subbed out to companies like, I'm just trying to think, one of the big trash companies. America. I want to say a big company, but let me not just say it. Some of the really big companies that are in waste management, okay? And those companies subbed out to another guy who subbed out to another guy. And in the end, those guys weren't getting paid. The little guy wasn't getting paid after a week of running equipment, running it to the dumps, cleaning up stuff, so they would leave. They said, I can't sustain, I can't pay a crew and pay for fuel and all this stuff, and they would just leave, right? Of course, there was somebody right behind them. Oh, man, they're paying this much a load, and fill it in. I saw it happen. Guys would come, guys would leave. Never get paid, never get paid, never. Because it was a trickle-down effect. So the last person that had a contract handed down to him, he wasn't getting paid. Next guy wasn't getting paid. And finally, like 2020, went back to the Army Corps of Engineers. He said, hey, we got people that say they ain't getting paid. He says, hey, we gave the contract to this big, large corporate company. And the corporate company was, who knows what's going on. They paid someone else and someone stuck it in their pocket. There's a lot of shysters out there, okay? So you just got to understand that, all right? Now, another big thing that I've seen happen, and it happened to a lot of guys that I really love, they went and storm chased, okay? And you got to be aware this even happened to me here in my own hometown. First of all, you go to another town, you're an outsider, okay? People know you're an outsider. And some people are happier there, but the locals that are in the businesses, they don't like you because you're there taking money from out of their plate. That's how they look at it. This was their gold mine, land of opportunity. They're going to make a lot of money doing cleanup. And you're there with bigger stuff or better stuff. You know, they have a flatbed trailer and pickup trucks, and you come in with your, your apprentice loaders and all that stuff, and you make them kind of look bad, and they really don't like you, So if they really don't like you, I'm going to tell you some stuff that's personally happened to guys I know. One guy went from here, went to an area where I grew up. He went to the Bronx. He called me from, hey, Adam, I'm working in New York right now. And a mini tornado hit the Bronx. And he happened to be not that many states away doing some other work. He went there. He had a crane. Calls me and says, hey, I have to call the state police. Why? He says, I'm getting threatening phone messages left on my phone that they're going to kill me, like mob type people. And then he found out in the mornings or whatever, they had cut hydraulic lines to his crane and damaged the fuel systems in his other trucks. So there are some people that really don't like you being there, okay? And that's from personal experience of myself here. I was stump grinding, and we had 3 machines out on the street. I'm on a job site by myself. 2 or 3 trucks, I can't remember, pull up. So I'm pulling stump grinders. One guy was on a 4-wheeler pulling the smaller Vermeer tow behind. I forgot what model that was. But pulls up, pulling it with a big 4-wheeler. And they get out and says, hey, are you Adam? I said, yeah, I'm Adam. He said, you're raising your prices. I said, no, I'm not. I said, who the hell are you guys? And they were telling, we're from out of town, or wherever you hear that you're the guy that, subs for a lot of these companies and you're doing it too cheap. You need to up your price. And we're telling you up in your price. I says, well, today I'm a stump grinder. Tomorrow I wear a badge. So get the hell out of here. And, I didn't carry anything with me, whatever. I was actually kind of scared. I was like, hey, it's me against 3. What am I going to do here? Can I get to my phone enough, or can I fight my way out of this, or can I bluff my way? I bluffed my way out. I said, sure, yeah, whatever. Yeah, good. I didn't forget. Okay. And I had some threatening calls myself, and this was my town. I had threatening calls from out-of-towners. All right. Anyway, so enough with that. Another thing is, if you go into a storm area, let's say you're running a skid steer, all right, you got to have those tires foam filled, and it depends what part of the country you're going to, like swampy, muddy, or whatever. After a storm, you never know. You may have to put that metal track system over your tire systems. I won't explain to you. You guys already know if you're on a skid steer. I mean, it makes it sound like a tank going down the road. But sometimes you got to have stuff like that. And then track systems float better, especially if it's marshy and muddy. If you, like I say, if you're running a stump grinder and it's tracks, you got to be aware there too that there's all kinds of materials that could cut your tracks. And if you got a wheeled stump grinder, if it's two-wheel drive, make sure you got something come alongs with you or something to get out of that mud, or just got, you remember you're by yourself out there. There ain't gonna be too many hands out there helping you. Out of towners that are there like you, they may help you because you guys can team up and handle bigger jobs. Okay, let's split money. So know the area that you're going to, research it a little bit. Just don't jump in the truck and say, we're going to go make a lot of money. So basically, that's the miser. This one, to make it quick. I'm sorry, it's 10 minutes, 11 minutes long. But I want you to be safe, and I don't want you to get ripped off. And if you're going to go storm chase with a stump grinder, it better be 50 horsepower or more, or you better have it. Say it's a Vermeer 30 horse, you better have two of them, okay? Or team up with somebody that has a big one and you have the medium one, and you go down there together. Okay, that way you're hitting the smaller stuff, he's hitting the bigger stuff, and you guys are like your own team that went down there. All right, so especially like even tree companies, you're a small tree company, he's a small tree company, and you go down there and you're a team. Okay, well, you got his back, he's got your back. Same thing with the demolition guys. All right, and God bless you. If you're out of the storm and you see another out of towner and he's broke down, stop, help him. It's the right thing to do. Don't say, hey, it's his problem, not mine, unlucky sucker, or whatever. It might be you. All right. So once again, God bless you. Have a good one. Stay safe.